So hello. Hello. It's not up there anymore. Okay. My name is Bengt Washburn. I have been doing stand-up comedy for a living for 28 years. And I still have to tell you who I am. So that's how well it's been going. And I'm not famous. I'm not famous for comedy. I'm not famous. There are some advantages to being a comic that's not famous. For instance, right now, your expectations are pretty low. And based on some of the expressions I see, already met. So that was easy. I know you're not here for comedy. You're here to learn. You're here to learn stuff. I'm just impressed that there are this many people that are still trying to learn and remember things. I mean, with Google around, I just stopped. You still try to, I only try to remember enough so I can Google it later. So if I can spell it, I can Google it. That's my... I will actively not listen to you if you give me street-by-street directions to a location. And I'm holding my cell phone. I'll say, no, you need to stop now. Because I'm just going to enter in this and forget. It's learning. It gets harder to learn, apparently. Do you know that? They say that after age 40, your brain can't remember and learn new things as well. I don't believe it. I think my brain could remember and learn new things. It just won't. And I know why. I think I know why. Because it still remembers all of these things I make it learn and then never use. Been doing it for years. So now when I tell my brain, this is important, we got to remember this, my brain does not trust my judgment. Say, yeah, right, idiot. That you've been saying this crap for years. That's what you said about high school geometry. Do you remember that fiasco? Hours of study and straight A's in geometry, and now we are a comic that can calculate the volume of a cylinder. Height times pi r squared. Do you think that comes in handy? Do you think I ever calculate the volume of a cylinder? I don't have to. Every time I buy a beer, the answer is right on the can. They put it. It's right there. I mean, it looks about right. They don't show their work, but I believe them. I just waste all this stuff. You learn a lot of stuff you don't even use, huh? Especially when you're young. They make you learn a whole bunch of stuff, don't you, teachers? Because we're young, we have a wide open future. You have no idea what we'll do. You know most of us won't do much, but it's your job to pretend, so you cram it in there, and then we don't use it. And I'm not the worst case of wasted knowledge in the head. In America, we have people life in prison, straight A's through high school. Now they're behind bars thinking, man, that AP geometry and history credit never really panned out for me in my life. They shouldn't have taught me all that garbage. They should have taught me something they should have taught me how to clean a crime scene. How to hide a body. It does get harder to learn as you get older. Maybe this is why. I'm now 55 years old, 55-year-old comedian. Now, for thousands of years, do you know what a typical 55-year-old man did? He died 25 years ago. And I think our brain remembers that somewhere deep. It's like, what are you doing? We don't learn stuff now. It's the slow coast, you idiot. Not learning. It's 55. It's not old. My wife thinks it's... My wife thought I was old at 40. Because she's 7 years younger than me, so that was older. This is how I know she thought I was old at 40. We moved to Monterey, California, right on the beach. I knew she thought I was old. I got this present for my 40th birthday on the beach. What'd you give a beachside birthday? Boogie board? Snorkeling gear? No, metal detector. Does this come with dress socks and sandals? Maybe a hernia belt in case I find something heavy. Somebody thinks I'm old. I'm not that old. I know I'm not. I'm 55. That started this year. People started calling me not that old. that started this year, which is a shorter version of, sure, you're old, but you're not that old. That's where I am now. I'm at not that old. I swear, just a couple years ago, I was pretty young. People who were really, really old would say I was pretty young. Now no one would say I'm pretty young, unless I died. I think we can all agree that I'm still pretty young for a dead man. I think that's, if I died, they'd say I was pretty young. If I died, would they say, he still had so much left to give? No. No, and they would not. They would say he was pretty young, but he wasn't young. He was almost empty. You could get some out of him. If you had like a rubber spatula, you could like. It's getting harder to learn, I guess. It is. Repetition, that's the problem. Your memory starts going. Key to memory. Repetition, that's how you remember facts. Also, how you believe baloney. Did you know that? Humans will believe anything that we hear 3 times. If we hear something 3 times, we believe it. Do you believe me, or do I need to tell you one more time? Is that? This is what happens. We mistake familiarity with truth. Like you can hear something ridiculous the first time. Like maybe did this sweep through the Reno area? Did you hear this one? The average person swallows 8 spiders in their sleep every year. And your brain said, that couldn't be true. But then the next day, a person who you thought was educated and sane said, did you know the average person swallows 8 spiders in their sleep every year? And your brain said, that sounds familiar. I've heard that. Then the next day, someone said, did you know the average person swallows, 8 spiders in their sleep every year? I know, I'm not an idiot. All right? I hear things 3 times, remember them and believe them. Okay? Like you, I am self-taught. And 8 is the average number you swallow. That changes depending on where you live. It could go up or down. I've noticed this. Once we believe baloney, we will take the liberty to add our own flavors and spices. The average goes up or down. Like you live way up north, it's cold, fewer spiders, plus more beards per capita. Spiders can't get over the beards. Lowers the average. You live by the equator, huge spiders. Nobody swallows a tarantula in their sleep. What drives the average up are the temperate climates. Trillions of little bite-sized spiders there in the spider belt. Or arachnid alley, I don't know, depending on which term you hear 3 times first. So you can't just learn, right? You might learn something that's baloney. Now you got a stupid opinion in your head. What do you do with stupid opinions? You defend them with your life. That's what you do. And share them. True. There must be an evolutionary advantage to stupid opinions because they're everywhere. Surely. Here's one, I think one. They're easier to remember because there's fewer details, which also means your brain can hold more of them. For every 1 informed opinion, you could hold 30 stupid opinions. Of course, how do you solve problems in life with all those stupid opinions? Volume. These stupid opinions, you defend them. Here's another advantage of stupid opinions. Easier to defend a stupid opinion. Informed opinions, hard to defend, huh? Hard to get, this is how you defend any stupid opinion. You can learn this at the TEDx conference. You can go home with this little skill. You all have at least a few stupid opinions. This is how you defend every one of them. This is how you do it. Well, that's what I heard. If your opinion's stupid enough, you can just cite hearing it as evidence that it's true. I've heard this like 3 times. You expect me to believe something I heard 3 times is false? I highly doubt it. Oh, and here's something unexpected. The best way to argue against that argument, this is the best rebuttal. Here it is. You're not going to expect this. This is how you do it. Well, that's not what I heard. counterintuitive. You gotta be stupider. You can cite not hearing it as evidence that it's not true. Well, I'm sorry, but this is the first time I have heard this. I haven't even heard this once, let alone 3 times. So, of course, now you're in a stupid argument. That's something I know about. If I were to give a TED Talk, I could give one on stupid arguments. I've been in these things for years. I mean, before Facebook. I'm an expert at stupid arguments. Got some pointers. First of all, people can get defensive, stupid arguments. That's what we do, right? Or you call me a liar? No, I'm just saying maybe you heard something that's false 3 times and believed it. Not calling you a liar. I think he's calling you stupid, Bob. I'm not calling him stupid. Well, that's what I heard. Did you get defensive? Here's one I like to do in a stupid argument. You can use this one. This is a really good one. Well, I'll say I read something. I'm going to bully them with my literacy. Stand back, everybody. We got a reader talking. Reader talking. Everybody give him some room. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. I read on the internet, false alarm. Not really a reader, more of a meme browser. Like the rest of us, full of secondhand hearsay bullcrap. See, that's a stupid argument, right? You're either trying to sound smart. Here's another way to sound smart. I like to do this one. Percentages. You just use a percentage with your opinion. It makes it sound about 90% smarter. Well, that's what I heard. Or you can make the other person feel dumb. That's a good strategy. Like here's one. Maybe you couch an insult when you preface the argument. Like here's a method right here. Well, any idiot knows. Huh? Then your opinion, see? Any idiot knows, implying that if they disagree with you, are dumber than an idiot. Also implying that as you form your opinions, you consult idiots. You think I go out on a limb with this alone? I've talked to the idiots about this. I've heard the idiots say this more than 3 times. This is peer-reviewed research. It's sad, this is sad. You can actually, sometimes you will believe something the first time you hear it. You can believe baloney the first time you hear it if it matches up with something you've heard 3 times. It's called confirmation bias. Have you guys heard of confirmation bias? I have, several times. Read about it on the internet. This is how confirmation bias would work. This is how it would work. Do you know the average person swallows about 16 insects in their sleep? Well, I believe it. Makes sense, we're already swallowing like 8 spiders. Yeah? That's probably why they crawl in there. They're chasing the bugs and such. You can end up with so much baloney in your head. That's the problem. You got to keep learning as you get older. You can't just not learn. You have to unlearn when you get old, and that's hard. Not only unlearn facts and technology, behavior. That's the hardest. You ask us to unlearn behavior. And I'm going to say I'm pretty old now, but it's hard. It's hard because it all changes, and we got to, social justice warriors, you're doing work, good work sometimes, I get it. But to help us keep up, if you could print some sort of quarterly magazine, large print, of course. This is a comic. I'm always getting in trouble because the boundaries change. And I don't always agree. I will always agree. I think this is a good joke. This happened. I was shopping for television. You done this? Comparing the screens. I got it down to either the Sony, that's a Japanese television, or the Samsung, right? and then an LG, which is Korean television. And after like an hour, I gave up and I turned to the clerk. It's a comedian. I'm older, I guess. And I turned to the comedian and I said, you know what? To me, all Asian televisions look alike. And I got a mixed response, like you gave me. But I'm joking about a phrase that could be said by a racist, but the phrase isn't. And I couldn't tell the difference between the televisions. The clerk could, of course he could. He works there, plus he's Korean. or Japanese, I can't tell. But the point is, now, is that racism? No, those are two different nationalities. That's stupid. I have friends from both nationalities, but I don't have it down to where I would trust moving on. Do you know the word racism was coined in 1906? This is what I heard. 1906, and I heard that or read it on the internet. And I thought, that seems a little late to come up with that word. I mean, we did it for a long time before we came up with a word, which makes me wonder, I wonder what horrible thing we're doing now that we don't even have a word for it yet. And then our great-great-grandkids will come up with a word, kids, and he'll throw it in your young people's faces. They'll say, Grandpa, you guys were swigglers. Well, we all swiggled. Everybody swiggled. It was a different time. We didn't know better. What is our swiggling? I think the environment is a good chance that this swiggling might be the environment. And young people complain about the environment. They blame old people because you don't know how crappy it was before you got here. It was disgusting. I remember when we would litter, we would just litter, and it was convenient. It was. You could just trash. Any car window was a trash can. Any. Not one for plastic, one for paper. You just could go. But we knew it was wrong. And young people, I'm glad that you find that repugnant. But the reason you know it's repugnant, boomers taught you. Boomers noticed. They're in the beach running through the trash going, this is gross. So they made a commercial. This is how bad it got. They put an adult in an owl costume. And they did a commercial to teach you not to litter. Give a hoot, don't pollute. That's how you know. It was awful. And for adults, they got an Italian actor and they dressed him up like a Native American. Only we called it Indian because we didn't know better. And then he cried about litter. I mean, you weren't self-enlightened, is my point. Yep. So anyway, I think global warming is one of them. And there's generationally, we're different about global warming, aren't we? Older people are not as concerned, it seems. Maybe it's the time frame of it. 10 feet by 2050, let's see, that'll all be carry the one. Oh, that's not my problem. And it was much worse. It was way worse. It was so bad, the environment was so bad, we noticed it. We noticed. We didn't need a scientist to point it out. Like, you wouldn't notice a lot of the things of global warming and temperature or climate change on your own. If you live by a glacier, you would notice. You would look out the window and say, wow, we've got a yard now. But well, you wouldn't notice the ocean going up 2 millimeters, like when you went to the beach every year, but you go, my goodness, does the ocean seem deeper to you this year? We noticed. We didn't need a scientist to tell us there's a problem when in 1973, the Cuyahoga River caught on fire. The whole river on fire. See what I'm saying? Any idiot knows. It's a problem when the river is in flames. Probably was an idiot that noticed down smoking by the river. He's smoking because back then they were good for you. And he threw one in the river and I was, whoa, that is not supposed to do that. I'm not a scientist, but I'm pretty sure that was supposed to extinguish my cigarette. Instead, it is spreading like a son of a gun. Wow. Yes, well, call the fire department, but tell them to check their water. We might have had us a paradigm shift here. They blew it on the name, I think, right? Global warming was not a good name because it's too comforting. If you want to mobilize people, don't put warm in the title. Oh, no, warm. Will it also be toasty? 70s, we had a horrible problem. Great name. Here's your name. Acid rain. That'll get your attention. Maybe a little too much. I mean, that's scary. Acid rain, my goodness. You ask questions while you write the check. How many zeros do you need? What kind of acid? What are we talking here? Do I pull my car in the garage or do I run outside with my mouth open? Is this a party or a problem? Turns out it's a problem. Or that's what I've heard. Good night, everybody.